All right, how's everybody doing today? Our segment for the day is going to be on LinkedIn. This will be a longer segment, and there'll probably be another one to follow it. But LinkedIn is by far the most important business networking tool out there, so I want to make sure we do a thorough job. This is another one of those sections where I have a very detailed workbook under the resource section. So make sure once we're done with the video or when you have time, you go through the workbook in the resource section, because if you really want to do this right, you need to go through that. Anyway, let's start with our quote of the day. Try not to become a person of success, but rather try to become a person of value. Albert Einstein, of all people. Now, today is the best time in history for networking, and LinkedIn is simply the best tool we have for networking in the business world today. Now, I'm not affiliated with LinkedIn in any way. I just think it's a great networking tool, and I've personally seen it help the careers of many people that I know personally tremendously. Professionals on LinkedIn are usually open to building out their networks. So if you have a well-crafted profile, a nice introductory message, you can usually establish connections with people who make a difference for you. Now, while Facebook, Twitter, and other social networks offer the opportunities to connect with people, generally speaking, LinkedIn is where professionals network with each other. Now, when LinkedIn asks you to indicate how you know somebody, you're faced with a few options: fellow group members, alumni, business partners, or friends. If you don't know which to choose, just choose the friends option. Some users require you to include in your email address for your connection request. And if that's the case, you can choose to do some research and find that email address, or just forget about connecting with that person for the moment. Make sure you include a custom message in your connection request. If you add personal message when you make a connection request, chances are that the request will be accepted. Now, let the person know why you're interested in their LinkedIn profile and that you'd like to network them on LinkedIn. Now, let me give you a couple of tips for success on LinkedIn. Even though LinkedIn is the #1 online tool for professional recruiters, it often lets them down. Many recruiters fail to find the candidates they need, not because of problems with the site itself, but because simple profiles render candidates invisible. So if this is happening to you, you're missing out on some great opportunities. So here are the top 5 tips to help recruiters find you on LinkedIn. And the first and most important is you need to have a complete profile, and that's going to make the difference between being found and not being found. Now, if you're one of those people who's chosen to complete only parts of your profile, it's unlikely a recruiter is going to see your profile. That's because LinkedIn search engine gives preference to fully completed profiles. So if you're going to join the site, make sure you're not wasting your time. Complete every section of your profile as thoroughly as you can. Next point is make sure you use the keywords. Use of keywords is vital. That's how people find you nowadays. Recruiters can only find your profile if it contains the words that they're searching for. So when a recruiter is asking to find a social media manager, for example, he or she may search for terms like social media, but also terms like Twitter, Facebook, Google, LinkedIn, or such terms as content marketer or blogger. So when you write your profile, think about the words that are commonly used in your field and just make sure you include them in there. Now, as always, it's best to sound human. Because the resume tends to be somewhat of a formal document, many people, they have to write a formal LinkedIn profile. Many even write about themselves in the third person. But it's much more effective to write about it in your own voice and write in first person using I rather than he. Be professional, of course, but be human too. Show a little of your personality. The more recruiters, and the more you do, the more recruiters are going to contact you. Your photo, very important. I still see profiles without photos, and this is a huge no-no. I mean, you're wasting time then. Research has shown that profiles without photos are viewed far less often than those that include a photo. We'll leave it at that. And the type of photo also matters. Make sure you look approachable, friendly, make sure you smile, and like the tone of your profile. Keep it informal, but professional. Next, being concise is a good thing. LinkedIn restricts the content that you can include. For example, you only get 2,000 characters for the summary, but you also get 2,000 characters for every job you've held. Now, some people are tempted to use all of the space and simply cut and paste their resume content into the profile. I don't recommend this. The level of detail on your resume is just too much for busy recruiters to read online. Plus, it just makes you look lazy. So instead, develop concise summaries about each position and keep them focused on your impact and your results. Now, recruiters are busy people and they have to work quickly. If your profile doesn't meet one of the 5 criteria, it's likely that either they won't find it or they won't bother reading it. So take the time and make sure you do the very best job that you can. Complete your profile. Now, I want to get specific about writing a LinkedIn profile, and attached are 10 steps for getting it started. So once again, this isn't the workbook, so I'm going to go over this quickly because I'm guessing most of you have a LinkedIn profile. I'll only stress what's important where people don't do correct or maybe tend to leave out. So, guide to creating a job-winning LinkedIn profile. First is create your summary in a word processing program. Don't do it on LinkedIn. Perfect it first, and then you can transfer it there. Now, as I talked about in the resume writing section, or if you didn't see that, every resume, every time you go for a job interview or anything like that, think of it in these terms. Try to isolate or identify your 6 best skills. I call these the 6 big skills. Your resume should be built around it, and your LinkedIn profile too. These are the things you know well about yourself that sell you, and you want to readily be able to present this to people. So make sure, first of all, you know what your big 6 skills are. Then decide the format for your summary. I look at some examples, consider how to integrate other gems, brands, and qualities into the summary. Then write the summary, once again, using word processing. LinkedIn allows 2,000 words, and be sure to check on my Platinum Power Words. Make sure you include some of those in there, because that's going to make it much more powerful, much more robust. Now, to finish your LinkedIn summary, then once you have it, add it to your LinkedIn profile. Your bio should have 300 words or less. Then go to the top of the profile in the summary section. Of course, make sure that the spelling and grammar are correct and the formatting looks great. Consider splitting paragraphs that seem a bit too long. Space it out as it's easier to read that way. And consider adding images, articles. LinkedIn loves that. If you put your diploma in there, a link to the school you went to, make sure you have an email address if you want to be contacted. This is going to make everything more robust. Next, gather collateral information to make your profile pop. Locate and create visual assets that take your profile to the next level. Once again, photos, videos, presentations, reports, and any other graphics that reinforce the message that you're ready that you're sending to recruiters telling people you're ready. Now, 2 easy wins for doing this is uploading a PDF copy of your resume and taking photos of your university degrees, honors and certificates that apply to you. But most importantly, focus on gathering at least 2 images to use in the summary section to place under your most recent photos. If you don't have any original content, see if you can find supporting images on company websites, university websites, Wikipedia, or other websites using Google's image search function, for example. Maybe someone who volunteered at an animal shelter might find images from the animal shelter's website. Try to collect high-resolution images wherever possible. And note that these assets are best laid out in sets of 2, 5, or 7 images, because that's just the way LinkedIn structure works. So think of it that way. Obviously, join LinkedIn if you haven't done it already. Generally speaking, LinkedIn Premium is worth the money, but it depends if you're going to use the extended capabilities. Like a gym membership, if you don't use it, it's not worth anything. But if you use it, it can be a great investment. Make sure you upload your headshots, write a headline, MBA seeking opportunities in finance, front-end developer with the passion for UX seeking opportunities in the Bay Area. But have a headline in there. It can only help. Then, of course, you want to list your experiences, your internships if you've had any. These you can copy and paste right from your resume. List the dates, previous jobs. Make sure you mention if you're a student, if you're a graduate student, put information like that in there. Also remember though, your LinkedIn profile and your resume have to match. 94% of recruiters that are active on LinkedIn are also going to cross-reference your resume against your LinkedIn profile, and mismatches usually will disqualify you immediately. So, as you enter these positions, make sure that you're linking the position with the organization's LinkedIn company page, if that organization's on the network. When the audience sees logos of other organizations in your profile, it helps you boost your trust with them. Now, if you choose to copy and paste the descriptions of each position from your resume, make sure, once again, it's better to use pictures. Visual assets tell the story better. If you can get that a picture of the logo in there, that's going to catch their eye, you know. You know the old saying, a picture is worth 1,000 words. Absolutely true on social media and LinkedIn. Okay, make sure you list your educational experience and degrees. If you've achieved any kind of honor, make sure that's on the same line. That'll help make your academic achievements pop. Make sure if you're looking for a job, make sure your titles match what you're looking for, because that's how people are going to search for you. I mean, it goes back once again to what we said earlier, but make sure you have the right wording in there and it's consistent with the industry. And of course, upload a photo of your degree is great, and any additional academic certificates that you've received. Of course, put in your contact and personal information, any other skills or certificates you had, make sure you get them in there. If you are job searching or doing it on the sly, you can customize your profile. Certain things you can make public. You go to Me and then click Settings and Privacy, and then you can go to Privacy and then edit your public profile. So you can customize it, so especially for what other people on the network see when they're not one of your connections. Now, if you are job hunting on the stealth, meaning you already have a job, and you prefer your current employer doesn't know what you're doing, click Job Seeking on the left-hand side of the menu. Navigate to the Let Recruiters Know That You're Open to New Opportunities, and then click Change. Toggle to the button to Yes, and then update your career interests. Once again, if you go to the workbook, all this will be in there. But go to, you can check it out at linkedin.com/jobs/careers-interests. This way you can customize what you want recruiters to see. Now, of course, add recommendations to your LinkedIn profile. If you have them, get them in there. Now, if you're still in school, you should ask for 5 recommendations. If you have 5 years work experience, you should ask for 10 recommendations, and so on. Now, how do you request that someone write a LinkedIn recommendation? Go to your profile, click the down arrow to the right of the button near your picture profile, click Ask to be Recommended from the drop-down menu. Follow the prompts, and that will request the recommendation, and then you just click Send. It's pretty straightforward. Now remember, if you're not likely to get a job, promotion, raise, customer, recommendation, whatever, unless you ask. So you always do need to ask, and LinkedIn really makes this easy for you. What also helps is when you endorse people on LinkedIn, because then they're going to be happy to endorse you. Now you can see that you can add endorsements or remove endorsements or order them. Just put the items that you want to be endorsed for at the top, and you can add up to 50 skills. Now remember to add keywords, or once again, things that you think people or recruiters are going to be searching for. You want to endorse your contacts so they can endorse you. As I've said before, you give and you receive. Think about 10 people who you'd like to endorse, and then you can enter the keywords to endorse for this person. Now the reality is nowadays, we all need to become journalists, especially if we want to network or get a job. So you can create posts on LinkedIn, and it's on Pulse. Now to create an article and save it as a draft on LinkedIn's Pulse, Publish the draft after you finish perfecting it. And after you've slept on it for a night, it's always better to go back and read something the next day, because we may think it's great in the moment, and the next day it's like, oh, why did I write this? Or why did I put this in there? So read it again the next morning. If it still feels like you wrote it from the heart and you get chills that it's so incredibly good, then post it. Now, here are a few rules to adhere to if you're going to write an article on LinkedIn. First is write from your heart and enjoy it. If it feels like work, don't do it. You're going to have incredibly inspirational moments where you get out of bed and write, or pull over into a parking lot and feel truly inspired about what you're writing about, that maybe you can help other people in business. And you'll know what I mean when it happens to you. It's like the opposite of writer's block. It's like what happens to Tom Cruise and Jerry Maguire when he wrote the business plan. He was up all night. Or Bradley Cooper in the movie Limitless, where he just can't stop writing. Next, paragraphs should not have more than 3 sentences. Nobody has the attention span anymore to read long paragraphs, and you're competing with many screens. Keep it short, keep it to the point. Don't use big impressive words. Look at USA Today. More people read local papers than The Economist. Now, the image that you use for the article should be inspiring or engaging. People do judge a book by its cover, especially now in the digital age, so make sure you have a good picture that really grabs somebody's attention. The title should be incredibly engaging, simplistic if possible, but you want to make sure you have a hook in there. Now, listing numbers in the headline also helps a lot. For example, 7 ways to improve your life, 10 ways to make $1 million, 5 ways to find the perfect partner. This seems to be what works nowadays, so use it. Now, if you want, you can also link other articles to what people have written. I don't do this much on LinkedIn. I guess some people call it journalistic bartering, as other journalists might also want to link to your article. So people do this a lot with their websites to increase traffic for their search engine optimization, the SEOs. Try to keep your article to 800 words or less. And try to answer the question, why write this now and why you? Posts that do the best on LinkedIn answer those questions. Mention examples in your life when you write and reinforce the fact that you should be writing this article right now at this point in time. You'll get more likes and people will share the comments more, get more traffic. Include articles on things that are timely, like Apple has a new release, things like that. I'm saying people want to know now. Use the right words like must, today, or now. Everything has to be current. Everybody wants to feel that it's current and nothing is old or stale or dated. Use big names in the title or the article, and I don't mean long names, I mean famous names like Steve Jobs or Matthew McConaughey or Apple. Because when things repost, that's what people are going to comment most on. And you can use special words like trips, tips, tricks, secrets, amazing, awesome, crucial. So once again, you want to get that hook to grab people's attention. And always make sure you have a hyperlink to the source to show that you did your research. All right, now we're going to change gears. LinkedIn is great for networking, but guess what? People also make money through LinkedIn. So I want to talk about some ways you can make money. Now, with approximately 610 million members and growing, LinkedIn is the world's largest business-oriented search engine. But most LinkedIn members see it as nothing more than a place to post their online resume. Now, according to the company, only 40% of the members log in more than once a month. The other 60% apparently hope that the others will simply find their resumes among the digital pile. But the truth is, it's not how LinkedIn works. To really gain value on the platform, you need to provide value to it in exchange. For example, have a complete profile. We're talking about info on your background, your education, all areas of expertise. Can you help achieve what LinkedIn calls all-star status? Now that's much more than a moniker. The more complete your profile, the higher you rank in searches on the platform. In fact, LinkedIn says that members who list 5 or more skills receive as many as 17 times more profile views. And don't forget, LinkedIn profiles rank high in Google searches. Now, here's 12 things that you can do to boost your visibility, from engaging with the LinkedIn community to optimizing every feature. First one is to brand your profile header. The top of the profile page has space for an image. Use it to display your personal branding or your corporate logo. And then do the same on your other social media platforms. That way, you'll look consistent across the internet. And you can bet that an interested party is going to look at every profile that you have. People will perceive your optimization as being high quality and professional, even if you're a small firm. 2, invest in a professional headshot. Photos matter. LinkedIn says that when a user includes a profile photo, they receive 20 times more profile views and up to 36 times more messages. And with that many eyeballs on your photo, don't offer anything but the best. Cropped photos from the wedding reception, they don't really help your professional image. I mean, would you trust a financial advisor if they used a blurry selfie as their photo? Next, add a client-centric headline. Your profile has a headline, it shows up at the top, and underneath your name, whenever you comment on a post, by default, LinkedIn puts your job title in this space. But unless your title is unique, it's a missed opportunity. Instead, use a benefit-related statement that tells viewers that you can serve them. For example, I help small business owners build systems, delete the chaos, and increase sales. And it pays off, everything pays off in your summary. You pick up a book at the library because the title grabbed your attention. Think of your profile headline as a book title. And now think of your profile summary as the inside flap of the book, which entices people to keep reading. Your goal is to keep the reader scrolling through your entire LinkedIn profile so they get to know you and learn about your expertise. Endorse your colleagues and clients. This feature may be confusing, and you may be wondering if writing endorsements for others really matters, or if anyone cares. Now, while that's open for debate, let me tell you what's undeniable. When you endorse someone else, your recommendation, plus your name and photo, appears in their profile, and that gives you more exposure to their network. Add multimedia comments. You can link a video, audio, and written materials to your LinkedIn profile. But rather than just use that space as a showcase, I suggest regularly testing new material and monitoring your views to see which content is popular, so you'll know how to best impress your audience. For instance, I like to post how-to videos and presentations in my LinkedIn profile, so people can learn from me and the experience, my teaching style. Upload native videos. LinkedIn wants to keep people inside its platform and sees videos as a good way to do that. That's why when you upload a video directly to LinkedIn, its algorithm will reward you with more video views. By contrast, if you link to YouTube, the algorithm will depress its reach. So LinkedIn allows videos to be up to 10 minutes long, but I'd advise keeping it short. Users love how-to tips, perspectives, and breaking industry news. Write content on the platform. Much like it does with video, LinkedIn rewards you with more visibility when you write articles inside its platform. Even better, LinkedIn will give the reader data that's going to help you position yourself as a subject matter expert. By tapping Me in the LinkedIn app, you can find real-time insights into who's reading your articles, including their employers, job titles, and locations. Include hashtags in posts. Hashtags on LinkedIn works differently than they do on Facebook and Twitter, where it's unlikely that people are monitoring broad tags like @motivation. LinkedIn recently started encouraging users to join hashtag communities using around core businesses and personal subjects, @motivation and 12 million viewers. So when you share content, by adding these hashtags, It's going to expand your reach exponentially. Next, update your education. Alumni networks are strong on LinkedIn and they're easy to activate. Find alumni from your school, filter your LinkedIn profile search by selecting your college and the school field. Connect with them on LinkedIn and ask them who's the best referral. Send them some referrals and they'll gladly return the favor. Join LinkedIn groups. Members can create groups on LinkedIn which often bring together people in similar professions. Digital marketing, for example, has 1.1 million members, or skill sets and Adobe Shop. Photoshop has more than 317,000 members. When you join a group, it becomes part of your extended network, almost like your extended family. Your profile will start appearing on the right sidebar of those group member profiles, and that's going to give you a lot of free exposure in specialized communities. Use LinkedIn ProFinder to get clients. Sign up to be a service provider in ProFinder, and you'll receive leads from people looking for your expertise. They're free to an extent, and if you want to respond to more than 5 a month, you do have to pay for LinkedIn Premium. But less than 5 a month, they're free. Now, all kinds of professionals are on here, including coaches, marketers, developers, IT services, writers, consultants, and much, much more. Now, you want to publish on LinkedIn Pulse? We talked about that above. We talked about that earlier. And once again, keep that. You're going to find more about that in the resources in my call it a workbook. So make sure you get there. Now, how do you get recruiters and employers to notice you? Here's a couple of tips. Near the bottom of your LinkedIn profile, you're going to see groups. Move the mouse over the right-hand corner, select Manage, then select Discover. And you can find and join new groups. And you can also find out which of your contacts are already members of a particular group that might be helpful. Next, change your SEO and your keywords on your LinkedIn profile. I'd like to play around with the title at the very top of LinkedIn. For example, change it from Associate to Technology Investment Banking Associate, or Investment Banking Associate, Technology, Media. If you play around with how high up the rankings you can search, and this is going to help you using advanced keywords or title searches when you're trying to optimize your profile, all this is going to help you to show up higher in the search rankings. So play with it, see what works. Now that your profile is rock solid, you may want to add as many contacts as possible. And once again, I recommend setting up the premium version of LinkedIn, but once again, only if you're going to use it. We want your profile to be complete, and the more complete, the better. Wait for the clock to stop gaining. I feel like I'm about to go to the ball here. Now, another cool feature on LinkedIn that can get recruiters to see your full profile when they reach out to you, it's especially optimal. So if you want employers to reach out to you, make sure you go to the profile as an anonymous LinkedIn member. Now, the main tool we're going to use, that you're going to love it because you can reach out to literally anyone on LinkedIn using messaging, is called InMails. This is what we're going to use for networking meetings for the remainder. So this can be a real networking game changer. So if you sign up for the 30-day free trial, you can cancel at any time, and once you finish signing up, you can start networking. But look for people with whom you have something in common. For example, maybe the same company, same industry, or an industry you want to work in. You need to be a premium LinkedIn subscriber to send most InMails. Once again, the first month is free, and the monthly subscription is the best networking and job search investment you can make, though. Use the subject line and message content that we covered earlier to make sure you have something in common. Put a weekly reminder in your calendar to send one InMail per month. Now, it's always good to set up informational meetings. Think about the career you're considering switching to, or if this is going to be your first job, and think about the industry you want to work in after school. Try to set up one informational interview at a company that you think you really might want to work at. Make sure you understand that you want to work in this industry, why. And at the end of the informational meeting, ask yourself the question, why do I want to be in this industry? And if the answer doesn't start with, I want to change careers or work in this industry because I am passionate about, then maybe it's not the career for you. Another thing you can do is seek a mentor in a different department. If you work at a company, try this exercise. Earlier we talked about that when you receive an offer, don't take it until you see the firm you're working for counters, unless you transfer to another department, blah, blah, blah. But the only way you can usually transfer to another department is if you know somebody senior and they're willing to fight for you. And I've done this in the past. You need to be preemptive and strategic by networking within your company, by meeting with people in other departments. If you're trying to transfer to another department, they have no idea who you are. Not only is it not helpful, but it's potentially damaging because they don't know who you are. So the easiest way to do this is look for people on LinkedIn in your company and other departments that you may want to work for one day and see, do you have anything in common with them, any common interest? If you do, try to set up a meeting. Send them a message or an email on your internal email system if possible. Just set up a coffee meeting, see what happens. Now, it's a good idea if your department ever gets restructured, but it's good just for meeting people in different departments, and it's always great to ask them to mentor you. Some are going to say yes because it's an incredible compliment. Networking, of course, is an internal career best practice as well. Now, as always, the best way to receive is to give first. Here's an exercise that can give you pleasure and peace of mind and fill your heart with love and happiness. I want you to try to find somebody and mentor them. It could be a younger cousin who's going down the wrong path in life. It could be an employee that you don't know very well. It could be a random email from someone that you received a while ago asking for help that you just never bothered to answer. Why don't you try replying to that email? But start mentoring them and as many others as you can, because this is going to help you in many ways. First, it's going to make you feel amazing. So whether it helps your career or not, it's worth it just for that. It's like the high you get when you're leaving the gym. But it's also important to remind you of your core values, and it's also the recipe for success to make it more likely to practice what you preach after these, we call them MOO meetings. Meetings mentoring others. Catchy name, huh? Anyway, plus believe it or not, it is karma. If you do this and you get your dream job, I guarantee you'll come back to this and ask yourself, is it because I helped someone first? Another idea is networking with, I'll call them 10-year goal achievers. What you want to do is look for people who are where you would like to be in 10 years. Get in touch with them and look what they did for the 10 years from where you are to where they are. How did their career progress? And try to develop a plan. Maybe you can copy what they did. Maybe they had an internship. Maybe they got a certain degree. Maybe there's a certain skill they had. Nothing works like success, and there's certainly no point in reinventing the wheel. Always a good idea to ask to meet them. And over the next few weeks, network. Try to meet people. Try to meet 10 people who achieved your goal in every category. This means that 10 people who achieved your 10-year work goal, 10 people who met your 10-year educational goal, your personal goal. Try looking for people who are where you want to be. Network with them, see how they got there, see if they can help you. There are hundreds of people on LinkedIn, and all you have to do is search for them using the advanced search strategies that we spoke about earlier. Don't forget to search and find something common with them first and put that in your short emails. Make sure that's optimized. And there's so many people that have your dream resume in 10 years that may want to help you. Many of them got there by having a big heart, so ask. They were you once. Don't forget how hard it is for them, and they'll appreciate how hard it is for you. Contact them. Why? Because no one else will. Once again, I guarantee you, if you contact 10 of them, at least one of them is going to help you. Also, your resume and LinkedIn profile will do wonders for your career, Enjoy publishing articles on LinkedIn. And lastly, please enjoy networking as you take your career to the next level. You're going to meet people, have fun, and learn. Anyway, so this wraps up our section on LinkedIn. I'll probably do another section on it later on LinkedIn getting leads, specifically creating a lead magnet through LinkedIn. But so much more to talk about. Hopefully you got the right idea and you're on the right track. Once again, LinkedIn is the best networking tool in existence today. Use it. You'll be glad you did. Remember, success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It's the courage to continue that counts. There are no limits to what you can achieve. This is Joe Pastore with Platinum Method Coaching, and I'll see you next time.